All right. So now we will get into the meeting and review our agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
We're just gonna kind of go over the process.
Did you
that we-
want to do a recap or?
Yeah, a recap of the Sunshine House.
Okay,
Sunshine
so we
Home.
will put under new business. Okay, want to review the minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as they are. For December.
No second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then we will move down to the bills. We'd like to review the bills.
Meeting minutes.
No, we have,
The approval minutes for last meeting.
that's correct. We do have to approve the
Right.
minutes from the last meeting. So let's go back and approve the minutes for, or take a look at the minutes for our last meeting, December 8th. Anybody have any questions about the minutes from our last meeting? I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 8th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then now we can go on to looking at the bills. If anybody has any questions about those. Are there any questions? You good?
Hmm?
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I don't need to do that. Let's go into our financial set. And take a peek into our financials. Anybody have any question about financials?
Good.
And now I will entertain a motion to approve the financials. Hmm.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I do not see any public comment for the agenda comments. Not have any old business. So we will move to new business, which is our water department. You're up. Ms. Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. All right, Chief, you're up for your monthly report, sir.
Completed the end of the year vehicle stops report, which is the racial profile report, and sent that to the Attorney General's office. Training has been assigned for all the officers for their 2023 total CEU requirements. I also completed the end of year reporting for use of force and MIVERS, which is crime reporting to the state. And we're continuing working with logging the evidence, all the evidence we have under the new evidence tracking system.
And Jeannie?
I've done 4 inspections at the Winfield properties. I've done 1 over at Greystone. We've done the final inspection over at the Winfield Dentistry. And the frozen pipes and the new carpets.
Now we are up for planning and zoning. Karen, you're up.
Okay, so we had our first meeting of the year this past Monday. We had 2 guests. We welcome Alderman Rakowski to be our alderman representative. We asked Sandy Reese to be our first alternate and Robin Kreitz to be our 3rd alternate in the event that Bobby is not able to attend. We had 7 members and of those were 3 new members. So that was good. We also set our meeting dates. We will now schedule meetings the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. with caveats. The first caveat is if we have no quorum, we have no topics, the meeting will be canceled. The second caveat would be to reschedule a meeting in the event of weather, illness, or any other issues that might possibly pop up. But we would inform the public as soon as we know the meeting would need to be either canceled or rescheduled. Right. Goodness. The P&Z commissioners will be working to help with the facilitating of updating the P&C portion on the city website. There are several things that need to be updated and are corrected. And we're also going to be going through our P&C chapter 155 to review to make sure that things are in compliance with the proper codes and also making sure that everything is coordinating and everything matches.
Nice.
The last thing is the commissioners were presented a draft presentation of the off-street parking. After reviewing and discussing, we suggested that it be brought back and rewritten and to be presented at a future meeting. And sorry, I do this right. Let's see, we would like to have it laid out with requesting wording and definitions so that we can make a better decision with a new wording and layout of the documentation. And with that, I'll yield back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And next on our agenda is the ordinance referencing our sales tax for marijuana. So, yeah, and I'll probably have, so. Once you, go ahead, recap.
So this is the ballot proposition ordinance that allows it to be submitted to the voters about whether the city will adopt a 3% sales tax on the sales of adult use marijuana, so that's the non-medical. So with the recent Amendment 3 passage, February 6th is the earliest that any licensed facility that currently has a license to sell medical marijuana may be able to convert to recreational or adult use. I don't know the state contract that happened, but under the amendment, the state can levy an additional 6% sales tax on those sales, and then the cities have the option to do an extra 3% that requires voter approval. This is the ordinance that will allow it to go to the voters on the April election and decide.
With that being said, I will entertain a motion for Ms. Rochelle to read it first, its first reading in its entirety. Entertain a motion. please.
I'll make a motion.
second,
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Rozalski,
aye,
Alderman Kreitz. Aye. And Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Hey, Ms. Eaton, would you please read this for its first reading in its entirety?
An ordinance levying an additional sales tax on sales of adult use marijuana and calling an election for voter approval of such tax. Whereas on November 8th, 2022, the people of Missouri enacted an amendment to the Missouri Constitution relating to the legalization, regularization, and taxation of marijuana. And whereas among the provisions enacted by the people was section 2.65 of Art 81 of 14 of the Missouri Constitution, which authorizes the governing body of any local government to impose an additional sales tax in an amount not to exceed 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold in the political subdivision, in addition to any and all other tangible personal property retail sales tax allowed by law if approved by the voters of the political subdivision at a municipal, county, or state general, primary, or special election. And whereas we believe it is in the best interest of the people of our community to act in accord with the authority which the voters of Missouri granted to offer our voters an opportunity to approve such a sales tax to some of the revenue derived from adult marijuana sales can be kept here and put to use to enhance services to the residents of our city. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Winfield, Missouri as follows. Section 1, conditional levy of tax. If approved by the voters as hereinafter provided, there is imposed an additional sales tax in an amount of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold in the city, in addition to any and all other tangible personal property retail sales tax allowed by law. Section 2, calling an election at the general municipal election to be held on April 4th, 2023, the following proposition shall be submitted to the voters of the city. Proposition M. Shall the city of Winfield, Missouri be authorized to impose an additional sales tax in the amount not to exceed 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold in the city? Yes or no? If you are in favor of the question, place an X in the box opposite yes. If you are opposed to the question, place an X in the opposite box, no. Section 3, election administration. The city clerk and other administrative officers of the city are hereby authorized and directed to do all things necessary to certify the proposition specified herein to the election authority for submission to the voters at the April 4th, 2023 general municipal election. Section 4, notice of tax levy. If a majority of the voters cast are in favor of the proposition, the city clerk and other administrative officers of the city are authorized and directed within 10 days after receipt of the certified election results to forward to the Missouri Director of Revenue by the United States Registered Mail or certified mail, a certified copy of the ordinances and the election results in accordance with the provisions of section 32.087 RISMO, and to do all things necessary or prudent to effectuate the levying and collection of the tax provided herein and account for revenues provided thereby. Section 5, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force in effect from and after its passage and approval by the mayor, in accordance with the provisions of section 32.087.2 RISMO. The tax levy hereby shall become effective on the first day of the second calendar quarter after the Director of Revenue receives notice of adoption of the tax, and shall be imposed on all transactions on which the tax is applicable pursuant to Article
14, section 2.65 of the Missouri Constitution. Section 6, it is hereby declared to be the intention of the Board of Aldermen that each and every part, section, and subsection of the ordinance shall be separate and severable from each and every other part, section of the subsection hereof, and that the Board of Aldermen intends to adopt each said part, section, and subsection separately and independently of any other part, section, and subsection in the event that any part of this ordinance shall be determined to be or to have been unlawful or unconstitutional. The remaining parts, sections, and subsections shall be and remain in full force and effect. Section 7. The chapter, article, division, and/or section assignments designated in this ordinance may be revised and altered by the codification company servicing the municipal code of Winfield, Missouri, upon supplementation of such code if, in the discretion of the editor, and alternative designation would be more reasonable. In addition, such designations, the editor may also change other designations and numerical assignment of code sections to accommodate such changes. Section 8, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
We want to do a second reading by title only,
Second reading.
or should we make her read the whole thing again, just for fun?
The rest of the paragraph.
I'll make a motion for a second reading by title only.
second,
I will call vote this evening.
Alderman Kreitz,
Aye.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Rozalski.
aye,
Thank you.
Ms. Eaton, could you please read it by title only for the second reading?
An ordinance levying an additional sales tax on sales of adult use marijuana and calling an election for voter approval of such tax.
Thank you, Ms. Eaton. Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve this ordinance as it has been read.
so moved,
Second.
Roll call vote for approval.
Alderman Reese. Aye. Alderman Rozalski
aye,
and Alderman Kreitz.
Aye.
This ordinance has been approved. Okay. So now we will move down to the complaint forms and chain of command. I have a complaint form here as well. So basically, with the command, the chain of command for filing complaints. It says any criminal activity or emergency shall be reported to the police by calling 911 or the non-emergency number for dispatch at 626-528-6100, option 1, and asking to speak to an officer. So the chain of command for the mayor is anything concerning a city manager, chief of police, director of public works, no other. For the city manager, dash city clerk, or actually it's got an email on here. It's the deputy clerk, accounts payable clerk, or sewer clerk. Chief of police, police officer, part-time officer, reserve officer, detective, an investigator, and evidence officer. Director of public works, general maintenance crew, water crew, sewer crew, and street crew.
That's one of the things we eliminated.
Sure.
So the reason we kind of did this is we wanted to create a universal complaint form that any resident could access online. The resident determines where that goes to. Like she was saying, it depending on, who the complaint is on, that is who you will direct that to. These forms will be available online. They'll be available to place in an envelope. The residents sealed it themselves, they put on there who it goes to, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the city clerk, whether it's, they put it in the Dropbox. And the only people that can open those is who the complaint is directed to for their manager. Jeannie is usually the one that gets the mail. She'll initial the envelope, but she does not open the mail. If it's not a complaint for one of her people in her department, she doesn't touch it. So some of the things we eliminated from the complaint form, we eliminated anything to do with your place of work, your work phone number. We don't need to know that. We eliminated things like your sex, your race. Those are things that were a little overstepping. So we tried to simplify it a little bit, but make it, more thorough. So we're hoping that this will allow people to do what they need to do without having any concerns about, who's getting what or where. So
Good, thank you. Okay, now we will move down to the ordinance authorizing mayor to execute real estate property donation. So on this ordinance, I will entertain a motion for Ms. to, sorry, to do this to you, and do this. To read this in the first reading in its entirety, so everyone can hear. I'll entertain a motion for this.
I'll make a motion to read first reading, entire first reading.
I'll second.
Roll call vote this evening.
Alderman Reese. Aye. Alderman Rozowski
Aye.
and Alderman Kreitz.
I
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Winfield, Missouri to execute and enter into a real estate property donation agreement with respect to 208 Hewitt Street to take all steps necessary to effectuate the closing. Be it ordained by the Board of Aldermen of the city of Winfield, Missouri as follows. Section 1. The mayor of the city of Winfield is hereby property donation agreement with respect to 208 Hewitt Street, Winfield, Missouri 63389, which shall be substantially in accord with the provisions of Exhibit A, which is attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Section 2. Further, the mayor is authorized to take all steps necessary to effectuate the closing, including but not limited to accepting the general warranty deed with respect to the property if he or she believes closing the transaction is the best interest of the city. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after final passage and approval.
Thank you, Stephen.
I'll make a motion for a second reading, because I will move.
Second.
Alderman Rozowski,
Aye.
Alderman Kreitz,
I
and Alderman Reese. Aye.
See, by title.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Winfield, Missouri to execute and enter into a real estate property donation agreement with respect to 208 Hewitt Street to take all steps necessary to effectuate the closing.
And now I will entertain a motion to approve this ordinance as it has been read.
I'll make a motion to approve this ordinance.
Second.
Please do the roll call vote.
Alderman Kreitz,
I
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
and Alderman Rozowski.
Aye.
This has been approved as it has been read. And have we received any so far? And community coat rack.
That's what I was about to say. We do have one now.
Okay. Community coat rack, Ms. Nicole, you have the floor.
Thank you. So I've been working with a local Girl Scout troop and they have the option of us to have a coat rack put in. I've been doing a bunch of donations on it, so I have a ton of stuff for it. However, I'm having a hard time finding a business that will let me put it there because of the liability with their insurance. So I'm asking the board for approval to put it in here. If we can do that. So I have somewhere to take it to.
what was the concern for the insurance?
I have no idea. That's just all, there was no reason. It was, hey, that sounds like a good idea, but no. And that's all they would tell me was their insurance won't cover it. It's, that's what I thought, but I mean,
I mean, you could always check with our carrier and see if they have any major concerns. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of liability and
I wouldn't think so either, but I mean, I'm not gonna tell a business that,
Right.
that's silly.
I mean,
So-
Bright Future does it through the school, so I wouldn't.
Right. So, and I mean, I'm okay with maintaining it. I'll come up and make sure it's clean and
Mhm.
keep it stocked and all of that stuff, take it down for the summer. But like I said, I wanted to come and get it approved so I can get it going because it's getting later in the year.
Right.
So I don't know if I need to follow up with you guys to get it checked on.
We will definitely need to check on just to see if the insurance.
My recommendation also would be the desk that's out here.
Yeah.
That we can remove that and actually put it in the lot, because that will open up a lot of space for someone to come in and.
Where the desk is at.
Yeah,
It doesn't get utilized often. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's see, do you have her?
that's
Correct.
gonna be-
Okay, so let us check it. Well, actually, I need to talk to my board and see if it's.
I
It's like a great idea for me, but
no, I think it's a great idea. Good time.
Bobby, what do you think?
I'm fine with it.
I like it.
Yeah. Do I need to get a vote for that?
I think since
Just,
there's needs to follow up and.
I was gonna say, cause I know I need to follow up on it.
Yeah.
Checking our insurance. So let's do that. Then we'll kind of see from that point
Okay.
whether or not.
So do I have to wait till next month to put it out, or can we go ahead and approve it pending the insurance? Cause I mean, that's kind of late in the
Probably
year.
Go ahead. I would imagine if everybody's pretty much approved here, as long as we can get insurance.
Okay.
There's no money being spent or anything like that, so.
Right,
If there is an issue, we can always go back. There's a whole lot.
Yeah, if there is a big huge issue or something like that.
okay, yeah, that'll work.
I can't imagine that there would be, but. Like I said, if they're complaining about their insurance, we need to.
Right, okay,
Sounds like a plan for us.
that works.
I'll make a motion to approve it pending we do the research and that way she can get organized and.
Yeah,
A second.
all in favor?
I.
Aye.
So loud.
So, yeah, maybe it's- I know, right?
Thank you.
So we'll get back with you on that once we find
Okay.
out a little bit more from our insurance, okay?
Okay,
All right. Then we're gonna go ahead and,
Yeah, might make the suggestion that we move the closed session at the end. So that
Yep,
you can
yep.
adjourn that.
so what we're gonna do is, we're getting ready to go into closed session, but I would like to discuss our next meeting.
Condition is under.
Oh.
Okay.
I even
That's
read
okay.
it. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I just wanted to keep everybody afloat as far as what's going on with our Sunshine Home. As most of you know, at the last meeting, there's been some issues, so just to kind of let everyone know the process, and Ed, please jump in if you want. So we have made our initial first meeting we had with them on Tuesday. There were several people there. We did an initial walkthrough of the home. Just to kind of get a feel of things, and now we will actually go back and do like a thorough investigation, to make sure that they're following. Right, like the ICC codes and MOUs, so, it's in the process, but I just kind of wanted to let people know what was going on.
So now, we are getting ready to go into closed session, but before we do that, I'd like to go ahead and set the date for our next board meeting. Currently as it stands, February 9th. Yes, that would be our second Thursday of the month.
Yep.
All right, entertain a motion for the February 9th.
Make a motion.
I'm gonna run Sarah had to, but that's all right. So used to motioning for everything,
I'll second.
so y'all better be here.
To withdraw the motion.
I withdraw the motion, yeah.
February. Okay. Yeah.
Secondly, a motion to go into closed session pursuant to section 610(021) subsection 1 and 3 for discussions with legal counsel and personnel matters, and that upon the adjournment of the closed session, both the closed and the open session will be adjourned so that there'll be no further open session. This evening.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Rozowski,
Aye.
and Alderman Kreis.
Aye.
And, let's take a 10-minute recess and we'll go back to the closed session. Thank you, everyone.
I do, I have a ton. I've gotten a lot of donations, so. I
I was
put-
gonna say, how many do you have?
I have quite a bit, so I have.
Ooh.